Welcome. We're very excited about our class. Today was a great day for UTSA football as we welcome 11 signees to the already 10 for a total of 21 signees for the class of 2016. As I said in my initial press conference, today would be the first, but certainly not the last day of National Signing Day. We addressed some very key positions with this class, and we did so in a time constraint that allowed us to really take our time and strategically go after players that we thought were ideal for what we want to do systematically. So we're excited. We're super excited. We got in the office about 5:30, 5:45 this morning. Welcomed parents, woke parents up and student athletes up, and encouraged them to get their paperwork in. They did so, and as early as 7:01, our first fax came across the machine. So with that being said, I'll open it up for Q&A to answer your questions.
If you'll raise your hand for questions, say your name and affiliation.
JJ Brez, Inside Runner Sports. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
How were you able to put the quality of recruits together this last few weeks in such a short amount of time?
You know, we're very fortunate to have the ability to hire a very competent staff that had established relationships with a lot of these student athletes throughout the country. As we went into the home stretch, it took some work because they were certainly recruiting them at other universities that they may have been at. So the ability to then channel that energy toward our program, get them on our campus, and share with them all that we have to offer as a university was our greatest asset. And we feel when we are able to get our students on our campus, there's an appeal, there's warmth, there's an air, something in the air that allows them to recognize that there's a family atmosphere here and that everything that they want to achieve, they can do so at UTSA.
Raise your hand, questions? Right up here in front, Walter.
And Walter?
CBS Sports Radio. Coach, was there a player that you would deem Coach Wilson's kind of player?
All of them. All of them. You know, we didn't take guys that we didn't think fit what we do. And so what we're able to do is go back and watch and really evaluate every prospect that was on our board, and then take an opportunity to get them back on our campus, because that's only one phase of it, the physical aspect of it, but then to get them on campus with their parents or with themselves and have an opportunity to meet the young man as a whole, who he is, his outlook on life, how does he view himself, does he has a holistic view of envisioning himself walking across the stage with a degree in his hand. Will he do the tough things that we're going to ask in the classroom as well as on the field, and have the discipline and accountability that's going to be asked from him? And so when the players that we signed exemplified all of those traits. So it was a big part of our official visit weekend to be able to get the UTSA type of player.
Coach David Flores,
Hey, David.
Kansas.com. I want to ask you, I know you got here late, obviously, and you didn't have that many rides, but or scholarships. Was there anything particular that maybe you were looking for, that you went out, a need,
Yeah. Yeah, there was a balance that we were trying to have within our roster. And so many times, you just take players and you don't adhere to the attrition that happens by way of graduation, transfer, or just eligibility itself. And so at each position group, we have a target number that we want to go after, or a body type or a prototype that we want to. If it's a receiver, you may have several guys that are slot receivers, but you don't have a big that you want to put on the edge that can create a mismatch for you. And so we had some of those things in this class. We wanted to make sure we had a dynamic guy that can do that, and we were able to pluck one from the state of Mississippi who has all of those attributes that can create mismatch problems for safeties or backers that may try to cover him. So at each position group, we were able to do that. We needed another tackle to be able to protect our quarterback's blind side. We found a athletic 6'5", 6'6" offensive tackle that has those attributes. And so it was important that each position group, the need of the team was first and foremost, and not just names or bodies, just very specific to our needs.
JJ?
Coach, are you happy with the quantity of players you signed?
Yes, we are. We're happy because we knew that we weren't going to reach at positions and just take someone to take someone. That if we didn't, that we were going to be in a battle, and we were in a battle with a couple of BCS schools here on some kids late, and then some cases finished second, and then some other cases will allow it to go through spring football to allow us to finish our signing class. So with 21, we still have 4 available, and we weren't in a hurry just to give them to any and everybody, but that student athlete that fits exactly what we're looking for. And so we'll allow it to run its natural course, spring football, and then sit back and analyze and put ourselves in the best position possible to get the players that we need at those specific positions.
Walter? Coach, what was the feeling you got from the San Antonio high school coaches as you made your way around town?
Oh, fantastic. You know, a lot of these guys, myself as well as some of the assistants on our staff have previous relationships with. It was endearing. They were warm. They were very receptive. We extended ourselves to our community in San Antonio, the city of San Antonio, and basically shared with these guys, this is your university, and we're just glad to be here. And so anything that we can do to extend ourselves to you from a professional development standpoint, to bonding with one another, we have an open door policy. We welcome you guys. We welcome your school, your student athletes to come visit with us, to be a part of our spring football, to be a part of our coaching clinic, and let's grow, and let's grow together in unity.
All the way in the back, Marcus.
Marcus.
Television. How does Blake's situation influence the scholarships that you guys have left, and you know the fact that it happened so late? How did that influence you guys' decision?
Well, you know, coming into the situation, all the indications was there. Unfortunately, with Blake with his prior injury, so we knew it was a chance that even if he came back, he was still at risk just because of the multiple injuries that he had occurred. So we knew we wanted to sign and still want to sign a quality quarterback, maybe 2, to give us the quantity yet quality that we want at the position group. We have 3 right now on scholarship, 2 on scholarship, and a young man who finished the season for us who we're going to put on scholarship, and certainly deserving. So that's of no relevance necessarily with that number at that position group because we target that coming in as a need.
Jerry?
Yeah, Coach, I was just, by the way, Jared Briggs.
Hey, Jerry.
San Antonio Express. And just wanted to follow up a little bit on the San Antonio, the recruiting here in San Antonio. Did you feel like you were close with any guys in this year's class? Coach, guys that got away?
Yeah, we tried valiantly to secure every guy that we had approved and thought were worthy to be a part of our program, and some of them were San Antonians, and we went after them, and we gave our very best effort. We got into the homes, and were able to do home visits. We got into the high school and visit with the high school coach. Unfortunately, some of these kids were already committed to other universities, and we didn't have enough time in some cases to do the best that we can, or we're able to show all that we were, not just as a university, as a staff. That won't happen again. Today we started already. We had the last 2 weeks with our communication with those high school coaches. We did so again this morning, calling the high school coaches in the area, extending ourselves to those men, preparing for our junior day, which will be upcoming, and all the other things, as well as our spring football. That does not happen again, that the early identification process of the best student athletes in this city, in this state, happens first, and then our relationship continues to be cultivated with that high school coach. So we're not in a position that we were in today. So if we had one more week, would have been all right. 14 days became a little tough for us, but we found a way, and then we did well. But we can and we will do better.
Questions? JJ?
Coach, there was some junior college players signed before you got here. What's your opinion on those players that were signed and already on campus that are part of this class?
Yeah, they're ours. We love them. We embrace them. We're going to develop them. They're part of the UTSA football family. We've evaluated every one of them. They're in the weight room. They're working extremely hard. They're working hard in the classroom, and we're excited about them. And we're excited about giving them an opportunity this spring to develop and be the best that they can be.
Questions? JJ?
Coach, do you feel like, is your staff complete?
It is not.
No? What other positions
Uh,
are you
we-
looking at?
Yeah, we'll hire another offense and defensive coach.
Okay, up here, Walter?
Is there any guys that you signed here that may or may not have maybe some academic issues once they get here?
No, we have some guys that have some work to do, but all are attainable. We try not to position ourselves to sign a young man who put himself at a disadvantage because once he get here, he wouldn't be able to do the work. So we have some guys that may have had a slow start as a freshman or sophomore in high school that have come on really strong in their junior and senior year. We like where they are. We feel very confident that this semester, this spring semester, they'll be able to attain the things they need to be full qualifiers, and we're projecting all of them to be full qualifiers, but also the ability once they get on our campus to be able to adequately move about and have success academically.
Jared?
Coach, I wanted to ask about the three young men you signed out of Mississippi. There's been quite a bit of buzz about those kids on social media this morning and whatnot. Just kind of how it developed that you were able to get those top-notch players here to UTSA.
Yeah, one was committed to Southern Miss, one was committed to Louisville, and the other was a great high school prospect that was a basketball player with great length and athleticism. And so, Pete Golding, our defensive coordinator, as well as Eric Henderson, our defensive line coach, had prior relationships at their respective schools where they came from. They had relationships with those guys. Collectively, we all had relationships with those high school coaches. We strategically, in those cases, made home visit with the parents, and in some cases, a parent that lived as far as in Washington. We sent half the staff there, the other staff to Mississippi, the other part of the staff to the junior college or high school coach. So we covered every base that we can to touch everybody that was most influential to these young men to help stand in the gap for us. Like 4 days like today when it got really hectic, that'll be able to vouch and speak with confidence and with respect and endearment to our university, and they did so, and that allowed us to ultimately get the player.
But getting Jaquel, was that a surprise to you this morning?
Well, he kept saying he was coming. We knew that he would face an onslaught. He's in D'Iberville and right there on the coast, and so he was a highly touted young man that had been courted by SEC schools as well as, Louisville, of course, where he was committed to. So at the end, we just had to stay steady, stay consistent, and give him a view of our team, our current roster, and how he would fit in it and be able to contribute early on once you get on our campus.
Questions? JJ?
Coach, now that you've had a chance to look at the roster, you've hired your offensive and defensive coordinators, do you anticipate changing any of the offense or defensive schemes?
I haven't spent a lot of time studying schematically the previous offense or defensive coordinators. More so have studied our personnel individually, and our defense and offensive philosophy is going to cater around their strengths. So I don't want to say necessarily change from what they did, more so than build our program around the strength of our team and our personnel, which ultimately gears us in the direction of the type of players that we've recruited. You look at the defensive end linebackers, guys with extremely long length, to be able to rush off the edge and drop into the flat area from an offensive standpoint, and those bigger tackle bodies, whether it be through the previous staff who had the early commitments at the three offensive linemen, which 2 6'4", 6'5" tackles that'll help us immediately, and Josh Otis at the very end as a big tackle. So I think similar in a sense because we all look for these big athletic type players, but schematically it'll continue to be the things that we've already identified that we'd like to do.
Brady?
Brady Phelps with the
Hey, Brady.
Paisano student paper. Just to get a little more insight into the personal aspect of the recruiting process, what are some of the key selling points that you bring to these guys? What excites them about this program? Is it the excitement of building something here? Or?
Yeah. I think it's a combination of everything, and you've heard me use the slogan, all hands on deck. And when we're on campus, any and everybody that touch our kids, right now we're so fortunate because it's one voice, and it's a positive voice. It's people are excited. And so whether it's our athletic director, whether it's the president of our university, our ambassador program, our people in our library, the people at our eatery, everybody on our campus is it's just oozing with energy and positive thoughts. And so when someone walks on a campus and we're giving them a campus tour, there are resources all around them. So we go into the business building and we're speaking to them about entrepreneurship, about money market. Then we go upstairs and take a right, and our career development center is there, and there's a mannequin there with a man dressed in a suit and tie, and he's preparing to go out for that interview. And so the student athletes start to envision themselves, okay, this is how I'm gonna manage my money. Oh, you're gonna train me how to go interview for a job. You're gonna teach me table etiquette. All the things that are necessary for a student athlete to learn. Our university fosters that in this environment. And so the cell, it's all around us in everything that we do. And so the football part of it will take care of itself. But now when we can use our university and all the resources around it, it allows us to be that much stronger.
Marcus?
Now that
You're good, Marcus.
Now that the signing class has kind of been done, and you guys having a few extra scholarships, is it kind of helpful because some of the bigger schools have let some kids slip through the cracks a little bit more? Now they've seen that they didn't sign there. Is that helpful for you guys in your strategy?
Well, I think when you just look at the landscape of college football, even several years ago with North Carolina State and Wisconsin with the Russell Wilson deal, or most recently the team that just won the national championship this past season, what they've done at the quarterback position and spot. You don't want to build your team necessarily every year in the spring trying to get those guys at those many positions, but there are key components of a guy that's 22, 21, 23 years old who's been experienced, who's been battle-tested, he's in one as the starter or the backup and wants to go somewhere where there are other resources around him. And if he plugs in, it helps that team, but also help that individual as well. And so I think that's something that we'll continue to explore, to put ourselves in position to be able to get. But I like our parity. I like the transfers, the mid-year high school guys, the May high school young men that are on our team. It allows us to have the true equity within our depth chart by position, that we're not too heavy where we have all seniors or junior college guys, or not so youthful that we have all freshmen, but that they can learn and grow from one another, and as they graduate out, the next guy steps up and the youth rises up at the same time. And so I think that's how you build a program, to have that type of diversity within your team.
Coach, as the faxes are coming over this morning, is there a Coach Frank Wilson celebration dance you can maybe just show for us?
No. There's no dance. There's a yelp, though.
Is it Yelp?
Yeah. Would you like to hear the yelp?
Absolutely.
So as they,
How did that happen today?
it happened 11 times.
David?
up a little bit. I know, obviously, with your background as a recruiter, you don't like coming in second, and you said that will not happen again. How much does that drive you, knowing now that, okay, it had to be a little frustrating, you come in and you're way behind, and then you got 14 days, but now you got next year. So how does that drive you? Will that drive you a little bit every day to make sure that you're?
Yeah, you know, I think anyone in a leadership role strives to want to be the very best in every walk of life, any type of business. There's never a time to be content. And with purpose, I use the word finish second and not the L word. You'll hear me say that most frequently because I don't like using that word because we didn't. We came in second. All right, we didn't come in the L word. So for us, you know, the day started out and my staff were in there early this morning and eating donuts and drinking coffee, and it's like, oof, Coach, Rivals has us at 127, babe. You know, and I recruit. Don't worry about that. And really deep down inside, I'm like, oh, I can't believe this. And so that doesn't matter. What we count, what we say matters. All right, don't get caught up in that. Okay, come on, y'all, we gotta go. And so we get through the day, and so we're driving over, and one of my assistants called, and he said, Coach, all right, I know it's not what you want, but we're up like 80th. So we went from 127 to 80, and all right, thanks, that doesn't matter. I'm like, okay. All right, we're taking strides in the right direction, and we're constantly improving and going in a direction. So we're an ascending team right where we need to be. And I like our position. I like our growth. I like our staff. I like our administration. And we're definitely headed in the right direction.